Who am I? I honestly have no idea. I'm a 14-year-old kid in high school, pretty standard. When I'm contained within our community of people known as school, I start to realize how many people seem to have a set place. Everybody seems to know who they are, who they want to be, and who they aren't. I observe people and their practices, noticing how the chit-chat goes, how they sway, and how they interact. Everybody seems to have a set place, and I'm just here wondering, who am I? For the longest time, starting out in 8th grade, the time when high school was a whole new thing for the peers of our class, I was always the kid who didn't get along. For the longest time, I was incompatible with society and I didn't form relationships with anybody through my power. I waited for people to come to me, which of course resulted in very few people legitimately becoming a close friend of mine. I spent the entirety of grade 8 and almost a full semester of grade 9, my current grade, deluded into this perception that nobody liked me and that I didn't fit in. I didn't like people, and I didn't have a set place like everybody else. People didn't like me, and few talked to me. Interaction was very strange in that I didn't really connect with anybody except for the few friends that I had made. I was an outcast. Nobody liked me. I was immune to interaction. Or so I thought. You see, at the start of the current semester, I just had this switch. There was a switch that controlled my mood, my feelings, my perspective. I started to notice that people weren't such disposable beings as I perceived them to be. I was deluded by my social absence, that people were all creatures of vulnerability, striking you when you presented yourself to them, claiming you as their own. I thought that everybody was brainwashed by society, and I believed that I was an individual who didn't need other people and who other people didn't need in return. Societal standards didn't apply to me. I felt that my sociology was logical. I felt that I was making a rational decision to ignore society and to not participate within it. It's probably a big factor into why I made so many YouTube videos during this time. I was too caught up in and fed up with my own personal needs that I didn't contribute any time towards the people around me. As I proceeded through life, I started to see how people weren't so bad. I was starting to frantically but cautiously proceed into the big maze of thoughts that was contained within society. I wanted to experiment. I felt that I had a chance to make a set place for myself, although this would be a challenge for me. It would be a challenge to make new friends. Why? Because the time for that is past. Making friends was so last year. Literally. The time to come together and become friends with someone, to participate within a community, was last year. The foundation of our community was grade 8, and it was a foundation that held no boundaries. A fresh start for everyone. A clean slate. You could be yourself without judgment. You could try and make the friends you wanted easily. A clean slate provided an opportunity to excel. Back then, I was in my state of individualism and I didn't capitalize at all. I kept quiet. I pretty much chose to let our community be formed around me without any contributions from myself. I chose to not talk to people, and I expected people to talk to me. After about a month of grade 8, I was wondering to myself, how do these people make friends? It was something that I just didn't understand. How to make friends, I didn't really get it. I thought that friends came to you. I had no understanding about how if you were unapproachable, no one would talk to you. I had no understanding about how if you didn't take chances, no one would talk to you. I had no understanding about how if you lied in the shadows waiting for people to come to you, no one would talk to you because you'd be invisible. I was invisible because I made myself that way. I chose to be invisible. I didn't want to participate in society's games that I just hid behind in the remains, lodging back within my own thoughts. My set place was in my head. I stayed there for a long time while the extroverts of our community, pretty much everyone other than me, socially succeeded throughout school. My place was within myself for a long time, until that epiphany in grade 9 that changed everything. This was when I realized the facts above. I was only where I was at on the social ladder because I chose to be there. People didn't talk to me because I made myself unapproachable, and people weren't as wretched as I thought they were. People were compassionate creatures just looking for reciprocation, and somebody like me, who seemed lost in his head all day, wasn't a viable source of reciprocation. This is where I made a change. I started talking to people more. I made myself more available. I started to think about how talking to people wasn't really such a big game of chess than I thought it was. There aren't any complex strategies to it. It's just opening your mouth and saying what's on your mind while you listen back and ponder about what somebody else is saying. My sociology was so overcomplicated that I didn't know how to talk to people until I just turned it on. Talking to people became easier and I started talking to more people. So far, within this whole new experiment of society, I haven't made any new close friends, but I feel that I'm making progress. People are responding and opening up to me since I've started opening up to them. Reciprocation is truly bliss. I'm not afraid to talk to people anymore, and I feel that I'm less unapproachable than I was previously before my drastic societal change. I'm happy with what I'm able to accomplish through this new window of confidence that I've opened. But that's where the pen stops. The ink has dried, I need a new refill. I'm in a state where I can choose my set place, and I still don't know who I am or who I want to be. I just don't know who I'm a true friend with, and who sees me as just an acquaintance. My set place has yet to be discovered within myself, and I'm no stranger to being introverted with myself. It took me a while to realize that I was unapproachable because I made myself unapproachable, so I won't be surprised if it will take me a while to truly find my place, and to truly find my standards. It will also take me a while for the other people to identify who I am, and what place I'm set in. I hope that I'll be able to continue connecting with people, because honestly, it's really fun. I never noticed how fun it is to make new friends. I just thought it was a flawless, smooth process, which is another thing that I thought about in grade 8 when I first thought to myself, how do you make friends? But yeah, I'm a kid who's trying to talk to more people, and who feels that he has the confidence to talk to more people in search for a set place. I don't know who I am, and I won't ever give up on trying to find out. Besides that, I'm going to continue to discover little parts of me within my search for my true individuality, while connecting with people along the way to help me in my search. I've discovered more about myself than I ever have before thanks to this new journey through the social world. I hope I'll discover more and find out who I really am. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. To your posting, share, download, share, like, and subscribe to Legrox99 Gaming, and bye.